Alright, another one of these videos on morality and such, and whatever. It's redundant, who cares? I think these are just points that have to be really clear, so it doesn't harm too much, I don't think, to go over it some more. I mean, it's like the most important stuff in the universe is how we decide what right and wrong is, and whether we're capable of acting on what we've decided, and all that kind of shit. So anyway, conference report guy made a video, and I really just didn't like the tone of it. So I'm just going to do maybe the first half of it. So he sort of made some subtle references that I didn't care for. So anyway, and then we'll get on to something more about consciousness and how the brain works stuff. Okay, so here we go. Soon. I hit the button.
I was going to talk about
Come on, video, play, YouTube.
morality again. Seems to be exercising quite a few people, including myself, right now. And this is really about, I guess, moral dilemmas. Because I don't know, I mean, I guess, whenever you think about morality, it seems to me that it's most clearly visible at moments of moral choice.
Yeah, aren't those moments all over the place? I mean, they're everywhere. Every time you vote, every time you support something, you don't support it enough. You only donated $50. Maybe you should have donated $400. And should I spend the money on my own potato chips or on earthquake victims? I mean, come on. There's moral dilemmas all the time. 24 hours, whatever. 7 days a week. It's all, it's all the time.
A lot of people have been talking about rape situations, and the kind of dramatised version of that that's reiterated is, you're in a situation with a woman, and she says no, and that presents you with a moral choice. And the moral choice, of course, should be obvious, but clearly for some people it isn't.
Yeah, so then why do we even have to talk about it? That's the point is that it's the argument being made is that somehow it's not, and that there's some evolutionary advantage, and that this is built into us, this rape gene, that we have this ancestry that did all this raping, and therefore that's the dominant force that drives a man, and that somehow modern civilization is suppressing his desire to rape. I mean, this is the implication of the conversation, and you seem to be standing on the wrong side of that fucking fence.
A quite small minority of people, but some people make, let's say, an unwise choice at that moment. And it's that
unwise choice. See, this is where it's just kind of weird for me, okay? Because I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with, I don't have to make a damn choice. There's no choice for me. It's not a moral dilemma, okay? Because I have no desire to perpetrate an act of violence against a woman. I don't want it if I have to steal it. It won't mean anything to me. I want to earn it, and I'm obsessed, I guess, in that sense that it has no value to me. It's like pouring botulism into my water. I won't drink it if I see botulism in it. Okay, if it's got little microbes and I can see them swimming in it and they're going to harm me, I'm not going to be able to drink it. And I'm telling you, it's that clear. There's no moral dilemma for me. And I'm offended that you keep insisting that somehow, because we haven't tested me, I can't make the statement quite emphatically. I don't need testing. I've been tested throughout my whole life, and guess what? I've never surprised myself. I've never been amazed that, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that old Hitler gene inside of me and I could be such an asshole. I mean, yeah, I can make mistakes and I can do stupid things, but my character has never disappointed me.
moment of moral choice which decides the moral fate, really, of that moral character of that person and the fate of the situation. So a lot of it, I think, is about that moral moment. And I think there's a couple of things that fall out of that for me. The first is that a lot of the comments around this have been to do with an assumption of what we would do if we were in that situation.
Yeah, I think it's not just an assumption. It's a qualified prediction. We learn through experience. We are faced with circumstances, and we see how we deal with them. And if we have some sort of evidence that, oh man, I'm really inconsistent. I mean, I say one thing and then I do another thing all the time. Like I said, I'm not talking about moments of, where, yes, you fail because you're drunk or you fail because of some other stupid reason. I'm just saying that there's a pattern over time, and you can be pretty confident about certain things. I know pretty sure that if I'm driving a car and there's a cat in the road, I'm going to do everything I can to avoid it. Now there's going to be other people who are going to do everything they can to try to run it over. And that's two different kinds of people. And those two kinds of people will reliably behave in that circumstance. There won't be a whole bunch of crossover. The cat runner overs don't become cat avoiders, and the cat avoiders don't become cat runner overs.
A lot of people are saying, I would never do this, I would never do that. It's only the people who are broken, it's only the people who are psychologically damaged who do that.
Well, no, the point is that first off, the only people who want to rape a woman are people who find the idea of it sexually exciting, that it somehow has a sexual component to it that makes sense to them, that they can, it arouses them, the idea of raping a woman. It has to be somehow arousing to them. So yeah, there's a constituent that has to be there. They have to be capable of enjoying the fucking act. Alright, so yeah, they have to have a disposition going into the circumstance for there even to be a fucking dilemma in the first place. Like, I wouldn't be facing a moral dilemma, alright, because I would not want it. I have no desire for it, so there's no fucking conflict.
I don't think there's any evidence for that. I mean, of course, I've said before in videos, yes, of course, there are a few psychopaths around, and they're relatively easily identifiable and fairly...
Yes, right, but there's no gradation, they're not on a scale. It's only psychopaths and non-psychopaths. No, I think the point is there's all kinds of grades of human being. Alright, and there's these extreme ones that are quite obvious, but there's lots of subtle ones. The wife beater. Oh, he was such a nice guy. Yeah, but he beat his wife. Well, guess what? He didn't beat his wife because of a circumstance. He didn't beat his wife because his wife overcooked his fried fish or something. No, he beat his wife because he was a wife fucking beater. Alright, because he got off on it, because he needed to do it, because that's how he handled frustration. It was already built into him. He didn't become a wife beater because the wife did something wrong. He was a wife beater.
He used to treat, or at least to lock up. But most crimes and violence and most rapes, most war crimes and so on, aren't carried out by psychopaths. They're carried out by people who are completely unidentifiable.
Oh, yes. Unidentifiable doesn't mean they're not psychopaths. Jeffrey Dahmer was unidentifiable. That doesn't mean he wasn't a psychopath. There's a fucking goddamn Gacy, the clown lunatic. He was sort of identifiable, but he still wasn't identifiable enough to stop. Bundy was really unidentifiable, charming, nice guy. Who would have figured, he would, make women eat their own toes? So come on, this is bullshit. They are crazy going in, alright? And the people who join the fucking military, I made the goddamn point, is they've already got a disposition. They've got a tolerance for fucking violence. Alright? There's no doubt about that. You don't volunteer to be in the fucking military unless you have already run the scenario through your head and you figured out that, oh yeah, well, if I have to shoot somebody on their own property in their yard because my government tells me to, then I'm going to be able to do that. You have to already run that scenario through your head and say, yes, I'll be able to do that.
To the event. Not just unidentifiable to other people, but unidentifiable to themselves. The reports that come back from those people are quite often to do with, well, either complete denial, either they just simply don't see that they've done something morally wrong. So from their subjective...
yeah, right, from their subjective point, that doesn't change the fact that they have a deviant psychology where they, like I said, the guy who beats his wife is not the average guy. He's not a regular guy. No, he's a guy with a deviant psychology, okay, who has this capacity to think his value is superior to somebody else's value. A whole lot of psychological crap has to exist. Plus, a whole big philosophical notion has to exist where he doesn't even find what he's doing objectionable enough to fix it. are correct for it. So he wallows in his sick psychology, just like a pedophile. A pedophile, somebody can desire to have sex with children, but then they can be philosophically know it's wrong and spend the rest of their life not doing it simply because they know it's fucking goddamn wrong. So there can be different elements to this thing that stops somebody. Their native psychology can stop them because they're not going to be able to enjoy the act, or second, their fucking philosophy can inform them that it's fucking too wrong, and they'll stop themselves that way. But this idea that you're suggesting that somehow these are just average people, that there is no underlying psychology that disposes them to it, bullshit. They are disposed to it. Maybe you don't see the disposition, but the disposition exists. Oh, enough said. That's video number 1. I must cut it into 2. Thank you very much.